crypto ripped yesterday and overnight. Bitcoin making a big move up. Now, if you've been following my game plans, you know that with members of Verified Investing Crypto at Verified Investing, we talked about how once we got above this level, it gave us that bullish bias in Bitcoin. Broke out, consolidated, and then this big move has occurred. Now, I'm going to tell you how I played it. All right, I'm going to give you the inside scoop on exactly how I did it. So with members, we talked about this yesterday, how at around 31,000 or so, I was going to take half of the Bitcoin position that I was holding off of the table. So right into this resistance, right? Pivot high, and upsloping trend line right here. That, again, gave us that first initial exit. Now, Bitcoin continued to roar to the upside, ultimately surging all the way up to this level. Once we got to about $34,000, I took my other half off the table. So at this stage, I am out of my swing trade on Bitcoin that I let you guys know I was in over the last couple weeks. Now, what I did in addition, and check this out, guys, once we pierced this level, once we got above 35,000, I initiated a short on Bitcoin. Small position, but starting to dip the toe in the water on Bitcoin. Because of the extended move, you're now starting to hit major resistance levels. Now, this is just a starter position. If it goes higher, I have the ability to add to that short. But this is what trading is all about, right? It's all about looking at the chart, looking at the probabilities of the coming move as a swing trader, and positioning yourself. In addition, notice how I legged out. I didn't say, oh, this is a resistance line, let me just exit a whole position. Instead, I said, you know what? Let me play it smart here. Let me move out of half of the position, let the other half run. If it had pulled back like this, I could have rebought that half. It ended up not, but I was able to capture that alpha to the upside. So again, that's really, really important to understand. So at this stage, I am out of my swing trade on Bitcoin. I am now in a short right up here, but a small starter position. The reason why it's a small starter position is because ultimately, if we do see it go up, there are other levels where I will add to the short. All right, so if we zoom out on this chart, and again, we're now going back pretty far, but what we can see, and again, it'll be hard for me to just kind of, there we go, we can zoom in a little bit like that, but basically these are your next levels. Your next level comes in around 37,500, and the next one is a pierce of 4,000. So we could go up as high as around 4,000. That would be your best bull case scenario before you get a significant pullback. I don't necessarily anticipate that happening, but again, notice how I'm leaving room. My short is right here, but it's only about a 1/6 position, which means I have lots of opportunity to add once we, or if we get up to these higher levels. Now, again, I want to be clear. This is a swing trade. I'm not betting against Bitcoin in the long term. I'm a huge, huge long-term bull on Bitcoin. All right, I think it is the future. I think it's the digital gold of the future. But again, I'm a trader. I go in and I go out. I've been short many times over the last year or two. I've been long many times. Just go look at the track record on Verified Investing for Verified Investing Crypto. It shows all the entry dates, all the entries, and the profits and the losses.
Bitcoin made a remarkable 12.56% one-day jump, reaching $33,816.09. This surge propelled its market cap to $628.3 billion, accounting for 52.16% of the total crypto market cap. Over the last 7 days, Bitcoin's value increased by 13.16%. Despite this, it's still down by 50.98% from its all-time high in November 2021. Bitcoin is making headlines, hitting $35,000, the highest in 18 months. This surge is linked to the possibility of a spot ETF approval, mirroring gold's historic rise after a similar approval in 2004. If Bitcoin emulates this trajectory, it could surpass $120,000 in the coming years. When the first spot gold ETF was listed in 2004, gold prices soared. Bitcoin's potential for similar growth is drawing attention. Gold, which was around $430/oz in 2004, doubled in price by 2007 and eventually surged over 300% to $1,800/oz by 2011. Analysts anticipate Bitcoin hitting $50,000 soon, marking a final accumulation zone before a major breakout. They'd also foresee new all-time highs in 2024, marking a resurgence after a lengthy crypto winter. In a week filled with Bitcoin optimism, the bulls finally have something to cheer about. Let's continue our discussion with Gareth.
We have seen Bitcoin dominance move higher. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. I have a target for Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is Bitcoin dominance. Now, dominance means it's comparing itself to everything else in the crypto sector. And what we've seen is as investors and institutions begin to understand that the spot ETF will be approved, they've been buying Bitcoin mainly. Now, we have seen altcoins starting to pop a little, which is good because I have altcoin long positions. We'll go over those in just 1 second. But ultimately, the majority of money is going into Bitcoin because that's where the spot ETF is going to be approved in, right? Now, if you look at the dominance chart here, this is pretty fascinating stuff, right? We can zoom out on this, and as we zoom out, we start to get a couple levels. So on this chart of dominance, notice the parallels. Parallels are unbelievably important in trading. And what we could see is if we take this low here, which was basically the low at the start of the dominance period of 2022, and we connect it through this low, right through this pivot, it tags it here, which implies that if Bitcoin dominance gets to about 55%, we should be into resistance. And that would be where I would expect Bitcoin to start to falter potentially against all other things crypto. Now, if it breaks through that, we have a beautiful parallel line going here, right through here, right to here, and this would be your secondary target. Now, as a trader, you have to look at these levels and say to yourself, okay, there's a chance that the probability is we stall here and pull back. But down the line, Bitcoin, again, could have another bull run, which could take us up to that next one. So this would be your first resistance. You would respect it until proven otherwise. And then at some point after a pullback, if dominance starts breaking out, this is your next target. It's at 60%. Now, what's fascinating about 60% is if we zoom out, take a look at this. Where does 60% get us? And I want to show you this because, again, this stuff is really pretty darn cool. All right, bear with me here. So, again, we're zooming out on the dominance chart now. We're zooming way out. If we look at this 60% level, where does it coincide? Look at this pivot point right here. Drag that through. It would take us back to a major pivot low on the dominance chart. That would be then the pivot high. One of my favorite things when I'm looking at charts is finding levels that coexist together. So by itself, this would be powerful. By itself, this trend line would be powerful. You add these trend lines together, right? 1 + 1, and you get something even more powerful. You get 2. So again, that's some of the things that you look for. One of my main things when I'm swing trading and day trading is looking for 2-factor or better trades, meaning that I don't just want a gap fill. I want a gap fill or a pivot high or a double bottom with another factor at least. When you get 2 or more factors, you're pushing your probabilities of success north of 70%. You go to any casino and tell them, hey, listen, I'd like to open up a casino and win at least 70% of the time. You will be a golden child in that scenario. That is exactly the place you want to be, and I think that's important for us to recognize.
Min Lin, LATAM Regional Vice President at Binance, referred to the intention of the institution to become regulated in Argentina after a specific law to license crypto brokers is approved. Lin stated the exchange is talking with regulators to introduce innovation in regulatory frameworks and prioritize user protection. Billionaire Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has underscored the need for comprehensive deregulation. He made this call in response to several actions by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, that he believes are severely constraining our civilization. This comes after his prediction of a comprehensive overhaul of the SEC with 100% probability. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.